playing, and we're ready to go up there. And job's not done yet, and we'll go up there to finish it.
Now that it's been 36 hours, has it really set in that you're going to Omaha again and, trying to revenge what happened last time you were there?
Yeah, quick turnaround for the whole team, and we were ready for it. We're ready for it. We're ready to go up, get on the plane, and just go up there. And yeah, it's my second time, but this will be my first time actually going up there and playing, and we're really excited for this university.
How are you different as a player going up this time compared to 19?
Just the guys that were in front of me, they taught me so much. Playing behind them every day, playing with Ryan Bliss every day. Just people like that have helped me become the ball player I am today. And becoming more of an Auburn man from learning a lot from coaches, especially Butch Thompson, just coming up here and just being able to be an everyday player.
I know that you and your dad shared the same number when you played for this school, and now you're sharing the same accomplishments going to the World Series. What's that like to have with him?
Yeah, that's awesome. Rankin finally got out of here, so I finally got to wear number 4. And just really special. I knew, when I came here out of high school, that's the number I wanted to be, and just to carry on that legacy. And to be able to carry on that legacy and have our last game in Omaha this year is really special.
Brody, for you guys, it's been a goal and a purpose since the start of the season. To continue that, how good does it feel to still be playing baseball?
It feels good. There's not many people that are still playing right now, and I think we've earned it. I think we've showed up to the park every day. I think we've worked hard. We've worked hard every single day. We've got back to our approaches in the postseason after we ended the regular season kind of slow, and I think we've earned this, and we're ready to go up there and keep it going.
Those approach, how important is that? Because you've been to this park, it's not a place where how important is approach for you guys when you go out here?
Getting on base is going to be big for us. Just staying short and just letting the big things happen throughout the games that we play up there. It's a bigger ballpark, a lot of ground to cover, and I think if we can hit some hard ground balls and low line drives, we're going to be pretty good.
Brody, Butch has told us no excuses a lot, and with this quick turnaround, is it the same thing, no excuses?
Absolutely. There's no excuses. We're ready to get on this plane. This is what we prepare for. This is what we wanted to do. We wanted that short turnaround. We want to get to Omaha. We want to play baseball.
Your guys' motto was to prove it. During the regional, Coach said that you guys had a Bad News Bears jersey in the locker room. Do you still feel like you guys need to prove something now that you've made it to Omaha?
Absolutely. We're not done yet. That's our thing. We're just job's not finished, and we're going up there to prove something. But yeah, led by Coach Buttermaker over here.
When you look at the field, four teams from the SEC West, you're squaring up against Ole Miss, played them here. Has that competition prepared you for a stage like this now?
This the SEC in general is the best amateur baseball in the world, I think, and to be able to those 4 teams in the SEC West, then the league we play in has prepared us for this stage. I don't think the competition gets more. I think it's about even. So I think we're prepared for this moment.
And Brody, with that motto of just proving yourself, having a chip on your shoulder, how much more does this run mean to you, and how much would it mean to you as playing that championship game?
Oh, it mean everything, but we got to keep under that microscope, not the telescope yet. So it's slide by slide, pitch by pitch, game by game until we get there.
Is that half from the time that your dad played here?
Yeah, I don't know. This was actually my great-granddad's. He gave it to me before he died, and I wear it every road trip we go on.
And Brody, on this run so far, what's been the most memorable game or just the moment you're going to take away so far from this journey?
Probably the dog pile in Corvallis. We were all ready to get out of Oregon, and it was pretty fun.
Coach Thompson mentioned that he doesn't really talk to you guys that much during postgame. How much he relies on peer leadership with you guys, and how much pride do you take in that kind of player accountability versus a coach having to yell at you about something?
We take pride in it, but also I think he's prepared us to take pride in it, if that makes sense. He's prepared us through me and Kaysen and Skipper and all the other guys that have been here 4+ years. He's prepared us. He's prepared us to know what to say to the team, and we really do take pride in that.
Brody, you mentioned your grandfather. How much a part did he play in your baseball life?
He was everything to me. He taught me everything I know, and he's gone now, but I know he'll be watching.
Thank you. Good.
But it's just, what's the mindset, you know, a quick turnaround for you guys, but you talked about it all year, and I've just asked Brody about the no excuses, and that's kind of the motto, isn't it?
Yeah, we got to go figure out a new setup. You know, we had to go 2,000 miles away last week to figure out a setup of travel, of turf fields, turf mounds, weather, all those elements. Facing the best pitcher that we faced the entire season, an amazing program that had never lost a super regional that they hosted at home, and it was their 7th. But we just got to wash that off of us. We came home. We used last night to get back home and wash clothes and get back out here when we got in the weight room today like we needed to and got some swings in. And now we got to start figuring out what are these new challenges, this new setup. But the guys have done an amazing job with the no excuses. We haven't thrown a whole lot at them. We've thrown a couple of simple principles that they've absolutely tried to dominate. So they've done a great job with simplicity and just constant routine of simplicity. And I think that's been a key.
When you talk about setup, what can you bring with you from a few years ago when you went in terms of things that you had to figure out then that will help you this time? Maybe you already know the answer to.
Yeah, this is a player's game. You know, practices for the coaches and the games for the players. It's a different stage, but the elements will be the same. You know, you do the old Hoosiers where hey, it's only 90 feet from here to there and from the free throw line to the basket, and it's 10 feet high. All that stuff applies. I don't know what that helps. I think by having a program there that recently and players that have been there, I think that's more powerful. I think it's hard when you haven't been in 22 years. And now then you get some players on your team that have been there. I think it's more powerful to be player driven. I've gotten to coach in the old Rosenblatt. You know, I was left on that field after being there 13 days in 2013 and lost a national championship. So I have some experience. Hopefully there's some words and some things and limiting distractions and it's going to be chaos. You're not going to have as much time to throw or be in the venue, and people are going to constantly be pulling at you. So hopefully we can set the stage and offer some line of protection because you've been out there a few times. So I think I understand those traps, and we'll try to limit that with this team. And I think you can hear it in the players' voices that I think there's an intention of not getting there. There's an intention of having success and going for it there. And that already makes me feel pretty good before we take off that they're interested in having success and trying to play championship level baseball and thinking about a championship. That was my goal, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. Is kind of a bold enough statement, but when you believe something and trust in a group and you feel like it's time, it's okay to call that out.
I know that your focus is on Ole Miss and the rest of the season, but have you had time to sit back and celebrate or recognize what this team has achieved going into Oregon State, beating them there, and going to the College World Series for the second time in 4 years?
Not yet. I think it's weakness to do that. I think it's an absolute weakness. There'll be plenty of time for that. There'll be months, and wherever we just had to cancel a camp. We keep this thing going. I think you guys know from all your coverage athletics that this stuff's year round. So as soon as the day's over, when the season's over, we'll have plenty of time to reflect. But the next day will be either camp or recruiting. We're recruiting as much as we're playing games right now, to be honest with you. We grabbed a couple of commitments over the weekend. I would really like to get a couple more here as we're competing for a national championship. But this stuff never stops. So we're trying to pay attention to a lot of different things. But I do think it's a weakness for us to start thinking about, well done, you start patting yourself on the back. I think you tell yourself as an athlete, the one thing maybe to answer the question is, if you believe confidence comes from skill acquisition and you acquire skill or you have success, like we did against an opponent like that, there should be a level of confidence. You just don't want it to cross the line of man, we've already climbed the mountain and you haven't. I want them to take confidence from Corvallis. I don't want them to feel like they've claimed anything.
You have a familiar opponent in Ole Miss first, so is it a good thing that you know this team so well, or do you think it's better to kind of have the other team not really know what you guys are about and catch them by surprise?
I'll have a better feel about 9 o'clock on Saturday. It's tough because it can go one of either way. This will come down, it's not about whether you're familiar. And this is about good and, more importantly, hot. And then how many dimensions can you play in? So this will all come down to execution. If let's say we start Joseph Gonzalez, you know, they didn't pitch against him, you know, in that first series. DeLucia, I think the guy they're going to throw, has been amazing and has been a catalyst to help them get in position. Ole Miss is not the same when we played them, and the Auburn Tigers are not the same as when we played them. But half of that field we played. We played Oklahoma to start our season. The other SEC teams, of course, we played a series with. One of the first people that reached out to me was Mike Bianco, Dave Van Horn, you know, these coaches around our league, Coach Corbin. We all live the same deal, and we're going to play each other the first game. I'm thankful we get to play Ole Miss, a familiar opponent. And I told them, well, they were number one in the country when they came here, and I told everybody, I mean, they're lights out. That wasn't me trying to cover tracks from losing 2 out of 3. That was me saying I believe those guys are a special ball club. And, you know, they had a lull, but absolutely have positioned themselves right of their ship. And look at their journey of going to Miami and then going to a top 8 national seed in Southern Miss and getting it done. So I'm excited to play them. The guys probably know each other, you know. When everybody in the league, when they come to Sonny at first base, they got to stop and have a conversation. Half the time it's like, Sonny, pay attention. We got a game going on here. So I think there's some of that, like I was talking about with the coaches, to each other, congratulations. I think there's some of that with the players, and this will be fun. And I did mention this in Oregon in front of a lot of people that I didn't know in the room, how impressive you have to admit that half of a College World Series field is from the same division. It's incredible. It's to be respected, and I think anybody in sport would understand that. So it's incredible. It'll make it unique. Texas A&M has to get out of the other side. They're the only one. We have 3 SEC teams in our bracket on our side, and then a great Stanford team. So it'll be incredible. We are probably dusting up our Ole Miss stuff, and you know, if you win or loss, there's a possibility. We'll probably spend a little more time the next couple of days on Stanford because we know the least about that program.
Coach, usually a team likes to rely on the experience at this time of the season, but you mentioned this last week, you have a good mix of new guys and guys that have experience in postseason. How much does that benefit your team that you have that good balance?
Yeah, I do. We've got great leaders that played in Omaha, I mentioned. We added pieces that made a difference in our program, and you know, like Sonny, Rambush, or a couple of guys that we've talked about a lot this year. Bobby Pierce has come on, getting healthy and adding to it. Those have been huge. And then we've had guys grow. Trace Bright has grown. Joseph Gonzalez and absolutely Blake Burkhalter. Those guys have grown from the past year. So we've gotten help from all these 3 different categories. And then the belief in my team is that we can play in more dimensions. That's what they've done the last 2 weeks. So winning a regional, and I think everybody knows that was an offensive weekend. We absolutely played offense. And we played enough offense, and we're facing a high-level pitching staff. And at the end of the day, I thought our pitchers' intention, their intent, their conviction absolutely carried the day. I thought a Skipper, a Burkhalter, those guys helped us win a super regional. A freshman like John Armstrong pitching in 2 games. A Tommy Sheehan and a Chase Isabel that are coming off like 12, 13 months off of surgery. And we've just been bringing them along slowly all year long, waiting for this. A lot like we did Bailey Horn in that 2019 run. And now we're seeing Sheehan's best outing, Isabel's best outing, Armstrong getting us out in a pinch, and Skipper and Burkhalter absolutely standing in the gap and beating an amazing program. And our defense has been consistent. The plays that Brody Moore, the season he's having, the outfield plays, we went left, center with 2 diving plays, amazing plays. Bobby Pierce throwing out a guy at the plate. Didn't win the ball game, but our defense has been amazing. Nate LaRue's impact defensively, his arm absolutely can impact a baseball game. So I think we have some dimensions to us that gives us some confidence that we can win more than one way. Sometimes if this is all you got and it doesn't show up, you're in trouble. I feel like if plan A is not working, we still got a plan B and a plan C that can afford us some success.
But you talk about Nate, not just his throwing, but his receiving, calling the game, all those things. How much has he impacted the pitching staff and the things maybe that people can't see?
Yep, he's grown weekly. I just don't think you're a team that can be sincerely competitive at this stage without a great catcher. And he's been amazing, and he's gotten better. He keeps getting better, and the arm's always been there. The receiving of the baseball, the making decisions in the moments where it's really grown, is just in tuneness with the game and with Tim and with our pitchers. It's just continued to grow. It's at another level, and it showed up at game time where I'm like, why did we do that? Or we should have done this. All that stuff's going away. And see, they can claim that victory. I can't claim that victory at Oregon State. Butch maybe was part of preparation or something, yes, or managing when to take them in and out. But those guys are absolutely making every decision. And when you let people do that, they figure things out and they get better at it. And Nate's doing an amazing job handling our guys, and that was so evident this past weekend.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.